We're back with week 3 of season 23, round 1. It's my turn to go through the Johnny Grinder with his 5 diamond Annihilus. So as you can see, it did not go well for me. But as with any loss, at least we learned some stuff. Tried some things, and then also had fun with some other things. So you're gonna see some serious attempts and also some memes for the content. But otherwise, let's see what he's got on defense. So this is a mix of Shadow Conclave and what is it? Black Order. There's a fun interaction here that ended up with a bit of a meme. Then we've got Symbiote 6 Professor X. Figured out how to one-shot this one. This is where things went poorly. There's also a bug with Exalted X-Men that's making this room harder than it should be. I've reported it. We'll see if they fix it. But I mean, 5 diamond analysis is just the bug didn't change anything here. Just something I noticed because this guy is he's just too crazy. I think I know how to 3-tap this next time. But I think that in itself is kind of a death sentence. Then we have Phoenix Force, Blue Marvel, and Black Cat. This one is interesting because against at least my setup does bad things, and we'll talk about that. And this is actually the culprit. This seems to be very common these days, just New Mutants Mephisto, which if you've been following along, you know that I'm going to Brimstone Sentry this, but I should have Brimstone Sentry'd this and then come up with an alternative here, assuming I had cleared this room. So we'll talk about what the interaction is here, but also kind of the usual thing I say, that the sum of all your rooms is what matters when it comes to defense and how you're taxing your opponents, and this taxes me in a kind of a unique way. And then Immortal Weapon sus at the end. So yeah, let's see how things went. So starting with stage 1, you can see my meme cleanup here. Basically when I failed to clear the Annihilus Exalted room, I decided to just not use Symbiote 6 Annihilus anywhere else. Just with the logic of, well, if I had successfully cleared, what would I have done in other rooms? And just, you know, just went into science mode effectively. This is actually the last room that I did, and there's some fun stuff that happens here. I'll start it because it's, even if I had one-shot this, it took like 28 turns. So we'll just get through it. So the only thing I thought about here before going in was like, oh, I should probably stop Executioner because his retaliates and this guy's 5 diamonds are gonna hurt like hell. So I just did Amazing Avengers. I don't know why Hulk is going crazy. Just calm down, dude. What the hell? I did Amazing Avengers with Storm. So Storm can stun him, then I can kill everyone else. Or at least that's what I thought I'd do. So we stun him. This is funny. This was a single retaliate from this guy, and she's a half health. Now she's not G21 because they're not worth it at this point. But she's got like, I don't know, 24 million health. So yeah, that hurt quite a bit. Anyway, then I stunned High Evolutionary because if somehow I push this guy, then he would clear it. So I figured I'd keep these 2 guys controlled. And then I figured I'll also stun this guy. So a lot of control. Because I was expecting to have way more damage than I ended up having. And this blade, I finally finished the tower. He's 2 diamond striker. He's got like a high damage value, but the stats on these guys are just kind of nutty, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, I just hard focus on High Evolutionary here because I just want to kill him. But even that ISO hit did not hit very hard. This guy heals a bunch of it back, but whatever. Nothing interesting happening so far. The one thing that is interesting is that this guy now, this Thanos, is empowered. Which happens because Ebony Maw and Caller heal here, and man, I never built my omens, so their kits to me are a little bit weird, and I don't really know them, but like, yeah, when Thanos takes a turn, if he doesn't have, you know, these stones, then do a bunch of stuff. Actually, how do they empower him? I forget how that empower works. Let's see. Anyway, somehow he gets him. Oh, he's already been empowered. That's why. So he's empowered now, which means he gets 500% extra resistance, just straight up. So you can see here he's got, what is it? Yeah, 1.6 million resist. Which normally you don't want Thanos to get empowered because these are his old abilities, and they're not bad, I guess, but you lose all the synergies that Shadow Conclave have. So it's kind of, usually you don't want this to happen, but for this kind of silly attack that I did, it actually ended up mattering a lot, and you're going to see why. So anyway, I'm just trying to kill this guy, get an assist. Cool, so far so good. Then I figured, you know, let's kill this guy because the retaliates are going to suck. But you can see here, like, actually, let's see, does that flip? I forget. Yeah, so like this didn't clear anything. Spider-Man didn't do anything here because of that crazy resist. Then Storm as a skirmisher does, you know, decent damage, but 2 retaliates, she's dead. So that was fun. Now Thanos does his old school special, but everyone has safeguard except for Spider-Man, so it doesn't really do too much. And that's what I'm saying, like his old kit isn't bad, but usually you don't want it. Thanos takes another turn. Julia goes. A bunch of resists again. See retaliates here. Take her down. Like this was 3 retaliates and a counterattack. And this guy's so annoying. I used to hate him in War when he was relevant. I guess they're relevant again. But anyway, yeah, you see like Blade doesn't hit them very hard, it looks like. I guess he is. They have crazy stats. I guess they're damage. Actually, I know I'm doing this a lot, but whatever. Yeah, 34 million baseline plus 30% from boost plus the room. So this guy's got a ton of health, and he keeps healing on his turn. So anyway, you'd think that, you know, yeah, see, he just healed up to full. That's just crazy. So anyway, now we're stuck on this guy. I'm gonna spend 20 minutes on this fight alone, just going through the motions. Boop. So lots of good skirmisher assist combos. There goes Ebony Maw, and this is Call Obsidian, I think. So yeah, those retaliates from him just hurt like hell. And he also resisted the skirmisher flip. Now this ultimate hurts quite a lot. And we're down to a 2v2, which, you know, I should probably lose. But anyway, Blade does his basic here. I actually didn't know that calls an assist. Then Spider-Man does an ultimate. Luckily, it just kills him. Now I've got these evades here. So I got the energy. I get a special on Thanos. Resisted the flip because of his crazy resistance. Then I get to do one more attack with Blade. Cool. Yeah, calls it an assist. He's dead to the retaliate. I do a basic, but I have an evade, which is good for me. And here you might be thinking, oh, I can just stun Thanos and win. However, and this is weird because the resistance won't pop up, but I'm assuming it was resisted, and he counterattacks and instantly kills me. So normally this should have been a stun and I would have won the 1v1, but Thanos said, get out of here. But anyway, this is not really a normal attack you do. I just thought it was kind of funny how it played out. So we can just move on to the next room. So, not going to show the cleanup. So room 2, so this is a pretty spicy defense. A lot of people are running it for a good reason. And I tried playing it 2 ways, and obviously the second one is way better because you can see it's also very efficient. So for this first one, I made, well, so this was kind of a slow play version. This was kind of a, let me get all my ability blocks out there, let me not push anyone below if I can help it, and then, you know, kill them on my round 2. But there's one thing that I hadn't realized works the way it works, which makes the slow play not super viable. So, and so like Professor X is here to get past the taunt on Riot. Breaker's here because Breaker's amazing and he can kill Professor X before he does anything. You know, Franklin and Invisible Woman and Reed are here to stop the speed stat. And then yeah, the whole point is let's kill them before they kill us, hopefully. So Quicksilver will always go first. Hurts quite a bit. I made him a striker so that he eats the mind controls, mostly because he's going to heal up when he gets pushed below 50%. Then we do the ultimate with Franklin. Get some good silence out there. Now I get to hit into Professor X, and since these are vulnerable, I just immediately get to blow him up, which is great. Now, this is the part where I was trying to slow play, so I figured usually when this goes wrong is when Riot chains onto Professor X and just kills him, and this is a 4-diamond Riot, so I figured I'm just going to ability block him. That's great. However, because he had the unstable thingy, he got pushed below 50%, and what I hadn't realized was that he cleanses himself as well when someone drops. So, first time a Symbiosis ally drops, which was Venom in this case, reduce the duration of trauma, sure, and if this character doesn't have trauma, transfer all negatives from that ally to self and clear them all. So that ability block that I had on him was cleared because he got pushed, and you can't really control where the unstable anomaly goes. Like if it had gone here or on null, then sure, I could have done that. But in this case I didn't, so he immediately did that. And the other problem is because she's now in stealth, and Riot decided to go over here instead of over here. Once again, my Professor X just dies before taking a single turn. So, some bad RNG, but also, even if this had won, it would have been very unreliable. So I think, yeah, I just canceled it here because clearly I'm not going to do anything. So let's move on to... we're doing a no-cut version this time. So then how to play it properly, I guess, and to, minimize some of the RNG. So I changed placement a tiny bit, so I put Invisible Woman here because I figured if I am going to special again, then even if he gets targeted, the chain won't happen. Actually, will it? I don't think it changed to stealth. Let's see. Yeah, counterattack breaks chain. That's good to know. But yes, this would have hit him once and then stopped. It ends up being irrelevant because I play this differently, but if you do end up using special, then this makes sense because there's no bounce anymore. So he probably murders a bunch here instead. But anyway, so same thing as before. Quicksilver goes, hurts quite a bit. Yeah, this time he got pushed early. Then we do the ultimate again. Ooh. Then we do we kill Professor X again. He got the anomaly again here. So this time I said, alright, instead of slow playing it, I'm just going to push them as fast as I can and then use Professor X special targeting to make sure that the debuffs stick. So, for example, because I know this guy's going to get pushed right now, I did the ultimate instead. So, there's no point in trying to special. Now, Riot targeting here was more favorable, but because there's no stealth, it's not going to chain back and forth on the same people. So it literally is going to just hit everyone once, and then that still sucks, but it's not going to kill anyone. And now here's the important part: if you push anyone with this attack that hasn't been pushed before, all that stuff is going to get cleansed. So if I target Riot or Null, then all of those debuffs are going to get removed again. So the targeting here matters a lot because this guy's been pushed, so I can freely hit into him, ideally kill him, and then we're going to have ability block and blind. Well, ability block and blind on Null, blind on the other two. This guy's already got ability block. But we also don't want to cleanse his stuff either, so again, you just want to hit into someone that has already been pushed so that it doesn't trigger again. So then Null does nothing. At this point, it's fine because I'm trying to kill them before they get to me. Here I stun Riot, so now I don't have to worry about his thing anymore because when he's stunned, his passive doesn't trigger, which is great. This guy's dead. We do a basic hurts like hell, and then we loop back to Professor X really quickly, and that's it. So a bit of a finesse fight. You kind of have to know how hard your team is going to hit and how much damage they're going to take. But yeah, I think if you play it this way against a big team and you target with intentionality, then this should work pretty well. Obviously, there's always the RNG of pushing something incorrectly or, Breaker's passive going somewhere else and making things go awry, but that's why I'm calling this a finesse fight. You have to pay attention to what is going on and what's the state of the board every single turn to understand when to push, when to CC, when to debuff, and all that good stuff. So let's move on to room 3. So stage 3, so here I debated if I should sack first and then try my attack, but also it's not very often that I get to limit test this team, and you know, figured I might as well just take the opportunity because this is most likely a loss anyway. I can't win an efficiency battle against Johnny, so figured I'd give it a spin. As you can see, it didn't work, but it also was actually pretty crazy because I didn't kill anything. It was pretty funny. So this is my usual Annihilus one-shot. Has worked well against 1 diamond. I think it'll scale up to 3 diamond. 4 diamond, I don't know, but I think 4 diamond and above is probably a 2 to 3 tap depending on some RNG. So here I intentionally focused the morph onto null because I did not want this guy to get hit with null and then potentially killed by this Annihilus. So yeah, that was probably a good decision because he got hit pretty hard. So here we do the special. Now he resisted the taunt strip, which is very unfortunate. Because now he's got safeguard and I'm stuck on him. Normally this Annihilus strips everything and you can focus wherever you want to, but this already is a problem. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't kill anything, is because I'm kind of forced to beat into him now. So his Annihilus gets to go. Hurts way more than mine. Now Storm goes, does her thing. And here they get to take a bunch of turns because they're killing my minions, so that's giving them speed bar. Now the other problem here is that because my Quicksilver got pushed immediately from Annihilus, when Storm went, she actually stunned him and it's going to stick. So this guy's not taking a turn, which is another huge problem. So then Jubilee goes, sure. Angel gets to go. 5 diamonds. Hurts and heals quite a lot. So yeah, this guy loses his turn, basically. Then Riot gets to take a turn. But again, the problem here is that I should be focus firing into this guy and adjacent, but instead I'm just hitting into Angel, which is just healing up the damage that I'm doing. And yeah, not great. And yeah, like see, there's just insane amounts of damage with Annihilus pings and passive pings from Storm. Then his Devourer starts taking some turns. Cool. And that means I get to lap him, but again, because I've been beating into Angel, they're all as healthy as they can be. So even this ultimate does nothing against a giant Exalted. Like, they kept everything. So, you know, had I been attacking not into Angel, then this would have at least killed a bunch of things, I think. And then I would have just kept it and figured out how to clean up. But yeah, this actually all went awry when I didn't strip the taunt off of Angel and I'm stuck on him. So this attack was unfortunately doomed. And then here's where I quickly cancelled, because this would have been bad. So then I went back to the original plan, which is not the fun version, but it's what we had to do. So did a very quick Immortal X-Men sack. I let it run through just to take as many abilities off as possible, and then I did the same thing again. So this one goes way better, and basically in my mind sets up a triple tap here. But I also don't know, even if I had a solo Annihilus to clean up, I don't know if I could do that, because I suspect he might just one-shot my Insidious 6, or they won't have enough damage to actually pop the rod. I am debating if Amazing Avengers might actually be good here, because they spawn with 2 evades, which means he's not going to be healing for a while. So I get to actually hit him a bunch, but you know, I ran out of attack, so I couldn't test that theory. So there's a little bit of bad RNG here as well, because his Annihilus, actually not yet, but we get to do this. So this time we stripped away the taunt, so now I get to go over here. Now this is the unfortunate RNG. Like, Annihilus decided to basic my Annihilus, which is permanent damage, so that is not what you want to see, right? But anyway, they're still taking turns because they're still naturally faster, but they're only doing basics in most cases. My Quicksilver gets to take a turn this time. Oh, and here's the bug. See, that was a null skirmisher hit into Annihilus. Let's just prove it real quick. Boop. But there's no vulnerables, and that's because Angel is currently bugged. This character, all exalted X-Men allies cannot gain bleed, trauma, heal block, or vulnerable. This part seems to be applying to anyone that's with them, unfortunately. So hopefully not this part, but at least the vulnerable part is, because as you can see, there's nothing on him right now, and you're going to see this again with more attacks. So there's another assist. No vulnerable. So yeah, you're basically just doing less damage to this guy, and I'm not getting my Striker Skirmisher combo here, which is just straight up less damage. So this is spicier than it needs to be. Also here, like I main attack Annihilus with a Skirmisher, and there's no vulnerables. So a little unfortunate. It wouldn't have mattered here. Like this wouldn't have mattered. But you know, if I had gotten close to the threshold for pushing him, that would have been the last damage that I needed, and that would have sucked. So anyway, I just want to show you how far this gets, because 22 turns is still a lot. It's going to be a long video, but whatever. Let's go, let's go. So basic, which means now the vitality goes away, so no more healing. But yeah, now Annihilus is doing another basic. Still hurts quite a lot. And see, like, this is just two passive pings, or actually this is two passive pings and a basic, and I'm almost dead. So I get to use my ultimate. Pew pew. This time, you know, I get to kill people because, well, they've also got the exhaust, but you know, killing people tends to be good. And this is why I'm saying I could triple tap this worst case, because I am killing them. I'm getting down to just Annihilus. The problem here, though, is that he's getting all these little bugs now, so I'm gonna get stuck on them. So you'll see how that goes. So there's a bit of RNG with like where they drop and where they position themselves. And that's why this takes so many turns, is because all these little bugs are getting spawned and they're taking a bunch of turns. Boop. So, you know, he gets to do another basic, got lucky. I guess he has a... Why does he have taunts? I'm not sure why Venom has taunt here, to be honest. But anyway, someone will need to tell me what I'm not thinking of right now. But yeah, I get to go here as well. Getting some assists, but they're not even enough to kill these bugs, because these bugs scale off of his health, and actually I'm curious, can I even see? I can't see anymore. It's curious how much health they have. But yeah, the fact that they have taunt and that they're still alive because they have so much health is problematic, because when I eventually take a turn, I'm just gonna hit into them. So like, I did the ultimate here just to do some splash damage, which was good, but not good enough. So like even my Annihilus is just basicing into one of these guys and isn't enough to kill it without the assist. Unfortunately though, he naturally gets to his ultimate, so I lose here. But that's what I'm saying, like, this would have set up a third attack to maybe kill him. But that's something we're gonna have to try next time if the meta is where it is. And I cancelled this, so I didn't keep it, but I guess I could have just kept it since I didn't really use them anywhere else. But anyway, that was a very painful 5 diamond Annihilus just smashing my team. So, moving on. So I guess before I go here, let's just talk about stage 5, because oh, I guess let's just do stage 5 first. This was actually also kind of funny, and I'm not very surprised, but you know, this whole round was just doomed from the start, because I somehow didn't get a reset on Mephisto, which was kind of insane, because you know, this guy here is at 52% health. 50%? 52%. And then this does not reset. I don't know if he didn't crit or what, or I mean it crit afterwards, but that's too late. So at this point this fight is over because they've got too many health thresholds and annoying things. So the next one goes as expected, except I guess this video is already going to be extremely long, so we can just quickly look at it. Mephisto took a bit more damage from Yo-Yo this time with more, I guess, Raider procs, and then we got the reset. But you know, if my Daemon was 5 diamond, we would have been fine regardless. But yeah, see, Yo-Yo almost killed him, so this one was fine. But you know, again, the TCP matters. So if this guy was 5 diamond, this wouldn't have been a problem. But because he is, there's clearly a threshold if the team is big enough where if you don't get enough damage on Mephisto, or if Yo-Yo didn't hit Mephisto, because there's RNG there as well, because she only hits 4 targets, I think. Let's look at that real quick. I'm pretty sure it's 4. Yeah, so there's 20% chance she doesn't hit Mephisto, in which case it would also be a problem. So so yeah, this team can be too big for my Daemon Sentry, I guess. Now the problem was though, because I used my usual, like I don't have a cursed on offense, so I can't do like an accursed null here, for example, or anything else like that. That created problems here, because I think I needed to Daemon this instead. Obviously, Black Cat has a problem here because she spawns with revive once and a bunch of death proofs, so she's going to stay alive too long. But if you do Daemon Sentry, though, you get to ability block the Phoenix that comes out afterwards, so it's not really a problem. However, I was trying to see if I could just do another cheese composition here with Odin and Captain Britain. Now Mephisto doesn't do as much as you'd expect here because Omega Red. I mean, I guess we can look at this one. I also did something silly here, which was I brought Mummy into Black Cat, and that means there's no pre-taunt, which was kind of silly. So that was, I mean, that was also a mistake when I was trying to kind of autopilot the tank. It was this or Gwen. So the logic here was, and there's a bit of RNG here with like who goes first, Blue Marvel or Black Cat, because they're both 132. So the idea was pre-taunt, but let's pretend this was not Mummy. Captain Britain to prevent the speed bar on Omega Red, plus any subsequent Phoenix revive shenanigans. Mephisto's not giving extra health, or well, I mean, he thinks he is, but Omega Red prevents passive. Yeah, enemies can't have their max health increased, so he's not giving extra health here. I just brought him because anti-revive, and it's good if he survives. Apocalypse was here to counter Blue Marvel, because in my head I thought I'd have the taunt here, and then because of Apocalypse's passive with resistance, where is it? There it is. Lower the focus of the first enemy to take the first turn of the match by 200%. My thinking was, well, if he goes first, then he's not going to flip anything because he won't have the focus to do it. But also, Black Cat won the coin flip here anyway, so she's the one that got the reduced resistance. So, you know, she still managed to get the stun through, which is kind of funny. But anyway, but yeah, then Blue Marvel goes, and I did not expect him to one-shot my Mephisto, but here we are. And then, because he's the only one alive, you know, Magneto's going to beat into him, and he can kill him from like full health anyway, so I cancelled really quickly. And then realized, okay, yeah, the Mummy thing was stupid of me because there's not going to be a taunt there because of Black Cat, so what else can we do? I was actually not intending to keep this, I just died too fast. So I just swapped in Gwen instead to kind of go with the whole concept of, well, I guess let's talk about this. So, you know, these three we already talked about. Lilandra was here for this offense down on Blue Marvel. And then Gwen was here just because she's a pre-taunt that will actually keep her pre-taunt. But you can see the offense down alone was good enough to not get flipped because his focus must be pretty low. Let's see. Yeah, this is not a very high number. Because let's see, Gwen. Oh, well, so it's like this. It's like this now. When you have offense down, you actually have 50% less focus. So this was actually very low. And my Gwen has resistance of 366,000, right? So the offense down helps a lot with resist checks. So you can see, you know, and that's also RNG as well to some degree. But you know, she resisted partially. Then Black Cat goes, Surprisingly, she also resisted the stun, so what is her focus? Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, 200k, so you know, a bit of luck there, but Mephisto still decided to just die to the passive Magneto thing. Then, you know, I got lucky here that he didn't go into Odin. Kills both of them. Here, I do get the battlefield effect going. So that was good. But you'll see what happens. Boop. So the more turns they take, the better. You know, staying healthy so far. The biggest problem, though, is the next turn. Because this guy, his special puts out a blind. And blind is Odin's biggest problem. And honestly, I thought I cancelled in time, but it still counted as a loss here, so... I actually don't know how he died there. I think it was flipping to the next turn, and I got hit with his like 10% health debuff thing. But either way, I knew that that wasn't going to work, so there's probably some chain of events already set in motion, and then that was basically it for that round. So I didn't want to keep that because I was experimenting, so I was kind of forced into doing a bit of a silly cleanup. This one I'm not going to show because this video is already getting too long, but you know, they've already used all their abilities. I can just kill this guy before it matters, so it's whatever. And then finally, room 6. I got to use this guy, yay! So, you know, this is very easy to counter with things that aren't really contested anywhere. Usually I don't even have APOC, but I did this time. We can just see it for fun because Maestro takes 2 turns, and hopefully his red diamonds, red stars make him a little bit more viable, but that's not going to be relevant until next week, basically, because of the way that milestone that just went live is paced out. So, Super Skrull goes. Black Knight punishes him. Old Man Logan gets speed bar, but Daken goes even faster because he's gotten he got stealth, so he gets like 60% speed bar. All the slows, well I say all, most of the slows land except for this guy who resisted it, but yeah, Sus just died through the combination of bleeds and the room roll. So, because normally he would also do a basic here, which technically is worse because now I didn't get extra speed bar on Old Man Logan. But we stun on him, so he doesn't do any more of his healing stuff. And you know, this here is very helpful for me to see what I can afford to do in terms of turn order. Because these slows came out early enough where my APOC goes ahead of Lady Bullseye. This guy resisted the slow, so he's going to go ahead, but I can see that I'm safe with APOC coming up. Now, I did this, a special huzzah plus an assist that gives him speed up. Now I targeted Apocalypse onto this guy because I figured the ISO attack will stun him. And it did, so he's controlled now, so he's going to lose his turn. And my Old Man Logan is going to lap Lady Bullseye because he's getting a bunch of assists. Then I do the Apocalypse basic here, just to get her out of the way because she's the next one going, so she's no longer a threat. Now Old Man Logan gets to do his ultimate. I mean, this is already over. But anyway, Daken ultimate here, so we rewind Swordmaster so he doesn't get to go. Basically, they don't take a single turn, is kind of the outcome here. So, yeah, Maestro gets to do his ultimate. I mean, that hits hard if you can get to it, but usually getting to it is the problem. So anyway, this is the end of the video. I'm not going to bother splicing in what happened at the end, because we already know that I lost. So yeah, 0-1 so far, because this is practically an unwinnable matchup with a 5-diamond Annihilus on the other side, unless I pull something crazy out of my ass, which I did not. So yeah, we'll try to go 2-1 with the other 2 rounds, so see you tomorrow.